A clear and concise speech with the powerful delivery is key to a successful and persuasive narrative that honestly applies to all factions of life. I know this as a businessman with experience in sales and marketing. And when it comes to Rafael Devers, it was an epic failure the way the messaging was delivered to the media because they absolutely destroyed him. Podcasters, they went after him, and I don't think the guy deserved it. I honestly have to blame the Red Sox translator for how this went about. 3 balls, 2 strikes, pressure is on. This is where we discuss real estate, property improvement, and business. Together, we'll strategize on how to win. Welcome to the Full Count. And this drama is really making everyone so involved and getting headlines and getting fans to, jump in, and other people that hate the Red Sox to also jump in. I haven't been this excited about the Red Sox since Manny Ramirez. So this whole debacle with Devers, I think in a way it's kind of good for baseball, but not good for Devers, especially because he doesn't have someone to aid him. It feels like, at least from my point of view, which I'll get into in a moment. But seeing the Clubhouse show on Netflix has also got me really excited watching the Red Sox and following some of the players like Jarren Duran. I didn't know how amazing the guy was. I knew he was good, but his whole backstory is just absolutely amazing. He also grew up a few cities away from me, so I feel like we're kind of similar in that regard out here in Orange County. And he wears my favorite number 16. I mean, that's my absolutely favorite number, so I might be down to wear his jersey. I know Chris gets upset, my co-host, that I every now and then will rock a different team, but if I like the hat, I like the hat. And if I like Jarren Duran because of his story, number 16, grew up in Orange County, I'm going to do it. So I don't care what he says. Anyways, so podcasters, MLB commentators, and things like that are all going after him, saying that Devers is a big egomaniac and he's scared to play first base and that he should just play. He's getting paid so much money because he's a superstar. And to some extent, I can agree with that. Same with the fans. I know they're really going into him, but it doesn't make sense to me. And here's why. The way that Devers was explaining things to the media, in my opinion, he was very easygoing and mellow. Things that are said in Spanish when they are translated to English are quite a bit different. And I feel that the translator from the Red Sox could have done a little bit better at this. But at the same time, he missed a huge point of what Devers was trying to say to the media, which essentially was that he cannot necessarily adapt to playing first base from third base. That's kind of what he was saying. And we'll get into it right now. But as he's going on with this messaging, and I'll translate in a moment, as he's going on with this messaging, the translator even looks at Devers and forgets what essentially he said. And then he has to repeat what he was kind of saying, which was a different message. Devers did a different message. And then the translator essentially translated that specifically. So the point about the adaptability, him not feeling comfortable, I think that was the message that should have been portrayed out there. So the tone would have been set so they at least can understand from Devers' point of view. From what I understand, yes, as a third baseman, physically going to first base is probably not too difficult, but there's a lot of different things with positioning on first base and scenarios that you got to understand. And Devers, from what I understand, has never played first base professionally. So him being, in a position where he can be embarrassed would really affect his offense. And I get it. So let's go into the translation here. After what happened to Casas, the first baseman that hurt his knee, they came to me. I know I'm a ball player, but I'm neither a player that can play all positions. I can't be like all baseball players. I don't think it's a good decision. They took away my position. They said, give me your glove. So there's some animosity there. Maybe management might have approached them in a very disrespectful way. And when you're a superstar, you got to treat these guys well. Just like these people in management want to be treated like royalty in a way too. Let's be freaking honest. And this is the time that he was told during spring training, you're going to be DH, right? But the translator does not pick that up. He actually looks to Devers and says, what can you repeat it essentially?
Yeah, it was after the Casas, what happened to Casas happened. They came to me and talked to me about it.
Good.
And
this is where he screwed up. So now Devers is saying something completely different, kind of on the same why he's upset, but it doesn't really explain his point of view. Just talking about the position being taken away.
At the same time, they can't expect me to play.
See, this is where the tone is crap.
In spring training,
not a good selling point.
Talked to
kind of
me
pissed
and
about it for him.
Told me to put away my glove. That
that's true. That's good translation there.
Other position, but DH.
Right.
So right now, I just feel like it's not an appropriate decision by them to ask me to play another position.
But he missed the mark there about him not feeling comfortable playing first base. He just doesn't want to get embarrassed. And he also basically says, now, out of all the MLB commentators and things going on the internet and people just obviously upset about this, I appreciate that they at least said, management and everything like that probably didn't treat him fairly or treat him right. And that's why he's upset. So they kind of understand from that point of view, but they're also saying, you're getting paid so much money, over $300 million, dude. Shut up and move to first base and just do what's right for the team. But they missed the mark about what he said about the adaptability. Devers knows he's no Mookie Betts. He can't be moved around and be still pretty good at his position. I think the fact that he wasn't a great third baseman to begin with and then moving to first absolutely destroys him mentally. And in terms of the offense, that's where the Red Sox really need the guy. He rakes. He does a phenomenal job getting on base, hitting home runs. And if you mess with this guy's head, it's the end for him, I think. And this is why he's protecting himself so much. And I can appreciate that. But let's listen to Ken Rosenthall, because I think he's one of the only people that really explains it really well from his point of view, at least. But he doesn't mention about the translator, the Red Sox translator being at fault. And I think a lot of that has to do with a lot of people talking about this don't speak Spanish, so they don't understand what the hell happened. And fortunately for me, I speak a little bit.
Rafael Devers, of course, made a team-first move earlier this season.
Right. Actually, positioning it right. I like that.
He agreed to become the DH after the Red
Sox.
Sox.
That was good of him.
That move, in my opinion, was entirely appropriate.
Yeah.
Bregman, a much better defensive third baseman than Rafael
But Devers at least did this and did it.
Devers at that
DH without complaining to the media anyways.
In that roster, he fit that roster as a DH. This is different. And with Casas now out for the season with that ruptured left patella tendon, the Red Sox do have a problem. They do need a first baseman. A little chess piece move, if you're just playing rotisserie baseball, is, hey, let's have Rafael Devers play first base. Well, not so easy.
Good.
For one thing,
he's explaining it well. I love it.
To master. A lot of fans, a lot of people don't understand that there is so much involved with playing first base. The Red Sox manager, Alex Cora, has talked about it. It's not simply catching throws from the infield. There's positioning. There's holding runners. There's relays. There's cutoffs. There's bunt plays.
I love how he's positioning. He's right. He's right.
And when you've never played the position before and when you have to adjust to it in the middle of the season, it's really difficult to do. You'd be risking injury. You'd be risking embarrassment to do that in the middle of the season. Play first base when he's never done it before. To ask your star player to do this in the middle of a season, if the Red Sox had any vision at all, or had greater vision, in spring training, they wouldn't have told Devers, put away your glove. Don't worry about anything with DHing this year. They would have begun the acclimation process to first, knowing they had such little depth there.
Right. What may have been helpful, too, for Devers, what he could have probably done and maybe been coached on this, or I don't know exactly what players go through. I'm sure they have some type of PR training, but he should have provided some sympathy to Casas. I mean, the poor young dude, he's killing it. He's such a tall guy that's always hitting pretty well. He's a good first baseman. He was injured in 2024, came back, did well. Now he was back this year. Excited. I watched him on Clubhouse on the Red Sox Netflix. I thought it was a great series there to watch. But anyways, feel bad for the guy that he's in this position and he's such a great talent, and now he's hurt for probably quite some time. And then he could have railed in on management and why he's upset. But he should have just really started on Casas and feeling bad for the guy. I think that would have really helped position him well, plus the whole tonality of him basically saying he doesn't think he's one of those players that can adapt and he's not comfortable. And the translator should have translated that, but he didn't. He missed it. And I understand he's a human being and, he forgets, but I don't think he was a very strong translator the way he constantly said and was really thinking of what exactly to say to translate. But maybe he had a hard day. Who knows? But, this could have been a lot better for Devers. Now, the latest update from what we know, Devers has been actually hitting really well after this incident occurred on Thursday and into Friday. He spoke to management and they said, John Henry, Sam Kennedy, and Craig Breslow flew to Kansas City when they were playing the game there to meet with Rafael Devers regarding the situation. John Henry spoke directly with Devers, Breslow as well, and they just said in a group interview that it aired on Nesson, whatever. Breslow called the conversation productive and no decision made yet about first base with Devers. So at least they flew in and see what they can do to mitigate this, but I think they could have definitely done a better job from the very beginning.